This copyrighted telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of NASCAR Broadcasting. NASCAR would like to thank all of our loyal fans for your continued support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.
And trucks. Now, your defending race champion was fastest all morning until he hit the wall. Looked like Michael Waltrip had tire trouble, and he wadded up a pretty good race car badly. They'll send the car back to North Carolina for repairs and test their backup car for the rest of this session. Tough day for Waltrip. All in all, that was the first time at Daytona in a Cup car for several Rookie of the Year candidates. Here's Casey Kane in the 9, and Brendan Gaughan was behind the wheel of the 77 car. Now, Jeff Green in the Petty 43 was second fastest in the morning, and 2002 champ Ward Burton was still looking for speed as he was 13th quick in the 0 car. And Joe Nemechek ran well in the 01 car today. But let's move on to the afternoon session where Nemechek was fast as well, but so was Michael Waltrip in the backup Napa Chevrolet. Quickest once again, and that should be no surprise from the DEI cars. Now, second fast in the afternoon was the 01 car piloted by Joe Nemechek with the Hendrick horsepower under the hood. Turn a lap of 48.5 seconds. Now, trouble for the 43. They had transmission blow in that car, but nonetheless got back out there and turned in the third quickest time in the afternoon session as well. Now, Dale Jarrett, sporting the new Ford for Robert Yates, is hoping for better days in 04 after what happened in 03, and he started out pretty good with a fast test session. And don't ever forget this guy when you're at Daytona. Dale Earnhardt Jr. was fast as well. Let's check out the sum total of...
But even late in the afternoon, Mark Martin was still one of the quick cars as far as the Fords were concerned, so it's good to see the guys from Ford having an opportunity to kind of like get back there and compete with the Dodges and Chevrolets.
You know, Jeff, there used to be a time when the rookies weren't sure if they picked up or not, but the same guys from yesterday were making waves. DEI driver Waltrip was on top of the speed charts again with his backup test car. At least he doesn't have to hop back and forth between the two cars like everybody else does. Now, with his Hendrick horsepower, Joe Nemechek was again fast in the 01 Army car. 184.8 miles per hour for Joe, and Dale Jarrett again led the Ford charge, breaking through the windy conditions just slightly slower than Nemechek. Now, Jarrett is having a great test so far. Sophomore driver Jamie McMurray was in the top 5 in morning speeds in his Chip Ganassi car. And once again, Jeff Green, who sat on the pole for last year's 500, was fast again in the number 43 Petty car. He says these cars are as good as he had last year with Richard Childress. Now, here are the morning's numbers. Quick he did. On to the afternoon session. It should be no surprise to anyone that that backup car for Michael Waltrip was fast again. 186.590, and he picked up on his morning time by quite a bit. Dale Jarrett picked up as well. His best lap was a 48.3. Him and my crew chief Mike Ford, who just came over from Evernham's Dodgers, are working well together so far. Joe Nemechek up there again. We heard from him just a second ago. He said it felt good to run fast, so he did it in the afternoon as well. Now, one guy who picked up big time, Jeremy Mayfield in the number 19 Dodge, up to a 48.56 lap at Daytona, and rookie Brendan Gaughan fast once again in the Kodak 77 Penske Jasper race car, as he is very impressive as a first-timer in a Cup car on that big track. And another guy who made major gains from the morning session was Ricky Craven in the 32 Tide Ride. Let's take a look at some of those numbers from the afternoon test set.
To be able to go to certain tracks to try this
by themselves. Now, the number 15 had an up and down test session, but mostly up. They wrecked the primary car, but when it came to running alone on the track, the 15 backup was clearly the fastest. Michael Waltrip has to leave confident. Dale Jarrett had another good morning test session with a fast lap, just a bit slower than a 48 flat. And right behind DJ was rookie Brendan Gaughan in his primary 77 Dodge. It was third fastest on the charts. Now, this team is off to a great start to the 04 season as well. Now to the lower end of the speed chart. Mike McLaughlin was driving the 20 car for Tony Stewart, who was off to the Chili Bowl. The 20 was 18th on the chart in the AM session, and a couple of the Roush cars were slightly down on speed charts as well. Kurt Busch, who finished second in the 500 last year, was 16th quickest, and your defending series champ Matt Kenseth was 20th. Now, Jarrett and Waltrip cars running in packs on the racetrack. This was the drafting practice that everybody was looking forward to, especially the man who was behind the wheel of the number 8 car. You better watch out for this guy anytime you go to a super speedway. But Dale Earnhardt Jr. in his number 8 Chevy was clearly the class of the group, once they got out there and were running in packs. Right behind him, Jamie McMurray finished 8th on the speed chart, but was keeping up with the packs as well. And you see the cars handling a lot different in the draft as they did earlier in the week as they were running by themselves out there. This is what the teams are really looking forward to as they get ready to go into the Daytona Speed Weeks. And then Jamie McMurray, Michael Waltrip, and the 20 car out there as well, testing from today. And we haven't heard this name in a while. Former Cup driver Steve Grissom topped all drivers as he's testing the number 59 Dodge. 182.9 miles an hour, maybe not as fast as you're used to seeing trucks go, but we will explain that in just a moment. Elsewhere in testing on the speed chart, it was Terry Cook in the new Ford F-150 number 10 car, truck, I should say, as he goes around the track, also second on the cumulative speed chart as well. Now, here's a guy to keep an eye on. Stedman Marlin is running fast, and he said his dad's going to have some work to keep up with him as he comes to test the Cup car tomorrow. And L.W. Miller is driving a number 28 truck this year as he advances series. Turned a lap of 49.9, 180 miles per hour. And a couple of folks decided to load up and go away and not even take advantage of the afternoon session. But in the afternoon session, look at the Toyota hood on Mike Skinner's Toyota truck as it looked like it was caving in a little bit, and we see some other guys running very well in their trucks in the afternoon. Jack Sprague, just a click under 50. The 75 truck of David Starr was also fast as well. And remember what happened to Ted Musgrave towards the end of last season as he just barely missed that championship. He had a pretty good test session in that number 1. Let's take a look at some.
We're behind a lot, but we kind of expected to be. It's no big deal. We got a good group. Toyota seems to be awesome. I mean, they're just really working hard right now.
The Ultra Boys brought 2 drivers plus 2 crew chiefs, but only 1 truck.
I gave the morning session to Andy so I can sleep in, and then I take the afternoon session. So when it's nice and warm and the sun comes in truck anyway. So I think it works really good. That way it gives the crew chiefs interactive participation, and the driver too. You know, what he tells me, I jump in and I can feel the same, or relate back to him what we need to change. We're going to see a lot of that this year out of the team.
The truck on track Saturday was the 99 of Carl Edwards, the 3-time winner from last season. He and Roush teammate John Wood dominated opening day testing, but not quite enough for Carl to do a backflip after that one. Now, 3 Dodges also ran behind them. No one actually hit the wall, but Stan Boyd in a Ford right there had an engine meltdown, and that called for a bit of timeout for a cleanup. And if the pictures down there from Saturday look gray and cold, that's because it was. That's not what you expect to see people wearing in Florida in January. On to Sunday when the temperatures were warmer. Of course, drafting practice is the key at a place like Daytona, but with close proximity comes contact. Watch Chad Chaffin get loose, get his Dodge down in the infield, and just when it looks like he had it under control, he gets up into the outside wall, and that's the wreck that Bob Dillner was talking about just a few minutes ago. Meanwhile, his boss, Bobby Hamilton, was quickest on Sunday, just off the time turned in by Carl Edwards. Well,
7 big-time teams, well-funded, well-supported. And in order to thwart off Toyota's challenge, the other 3 manufacturers are stepping up their involvement too.
Want to win the race, and it takes a concerted effort throughout the whole team to do that. So it's one that we leave here, we tested here for 3 days, and now we're going to go test for 2 in Talladega and try to put that Orleans Dodge up front where it belongs.
You were dicing it up in the draft today, so how did it feel?
Actually, it felt pretty good. I mean, it felt pretty good in qualifying trim by itself, and we diced it up in the draft today, and the truck is good. I mean, it's, you know, we won't be satisfied until we're about a second faster than the competition, but right now the truck is decent. We need to be a little bit better, and we got a little work to do.
Can we see you in the Nextel Cup Series this year at all? I know
last year from Dodge, and now I landed this right on the course. A lot of good names.
This copyrighted telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of NASCAR Broadcasting. NASCAR would like to thank all of our loyal fans for your continued support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.
This has been a presentation of ABC Sports, recognized around the world as the leader in sports television.